Do you want what? Shall we begin?
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to episode 3 of Acts of Geekery. Today is July 10th, 2014, and we're happy to be back.
Yes, we are.
I'm Cory.
And I'm Scott.
And we're here to talk to you about all the cool stuff that's going on in the world of geek today, or this week.
Number
Not
3.
just today. Number three.
New
Yep.
record.
Yep. We went
We'll be
number
setting
1,
a
we
new
went
record
number
every
2,
week.
and now we are going number 3.
Combination of both 1 and 2.
Our first toilet joke.
Oh, yay.
I
Mark it
really
down.
did. Yeah, I
Mark it
really
down.
didn't want to be the one to do the first toilet joke, but apparently I'm the one who breaks new ground here.
Apparently. First you're racist, and now you're toiletist.
Yep, it's going to. Yeah. Let's go ahead and jump right into the news today, or this week again.
This week.
Yep. A little bit of a slow news week. Not too much coming out.
Again, Comic-Con's coming up.
Yep.
So
2 weeks. 2 weeks away.
Yeah, 2 weeks away.
Well, actually 3 weeks, because our podcast is going to record right before Comic-Con starts.
And then we will be reviewing all kinds of stuff from Comic-Con the next week.
So look out for episode 6. It's going to be the best. And a lot of people think that episode 5 is the best, actually. So
Well, I guess we'll see. We'll prove them wrong.
this is our Revenge of the Sith.
Yes, Revenge of the Sixth.
Oy. So Scott,
Yes.
we always like to start out with Dawn of Justice news because they keep
Of course.
sprinkling little stuff
It's
out.
nonstop, and it will be nonstop probably until, 2017 or 2015 when it comes out. Whenever. 2016.
2016.
20-something.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's a little ways away.
We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see what it comes out.
Well, there's a rumor floating around that one of Superman's greatest villains is going to be playing a role in Dawn of Justice.
Darkseid.
No.
Lex Luthor.
Well, yeah, he's
Brainiac.
No.
Mongol.
No,
Oh.
the Trapster.
Sportsmaster.
Gosh, there's people. If you haven't looked up the DC Universe villains roster, there's a lot of stupid villains out there. But we're talking about Doomsday right now.
Doomsday.
Yep, the clone.
The Day of Doom.
The clone of a clone of a clone of a clone of a clone.
Yes.
That is battle hardened and sent to Earth. Or
Every time he dies, he evolves, and so he can't die that way ever again.
Yep.
So if you rip his head off, he evolves to have an unrippable off head. However, that's gonna
logical.
work.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's the way they did it.
Well, he might be in Dawn of Justice. People have been talking to
Just a rumor.
rather
Just a rumor.
reliable sources, so it's just a rumor right now.
But I'll change.
But that would make sense for somebody that could match Superman, and then Batman has to match against Lex Luthor, because they're both humans and they're matched equally to each other.
Of course, they both have lots of money, so they're matched that way.
They're gonna have a money fight.
They're gonna just throw money at each other. They're not gonna actually do any kind of karate. It's just gonna handfuls of money. They'll just be throwing them at each other.
It's a little sad for me because I was kind of hoping that Lex Luthor would hire Lobo.
Oh man, yeah.
Because I mentioned that I think in our first or second episode.
Well, you remember reading the Death of Superman comics.
I do, actually. I've read about half of it.
Doomsday was actually released by Lex Luthor and his corporation or whatever. They dug underground and found him, and however he was on Earth for some reason, stuck there. I don't know why. I think he got exiled there, but long before humans had evolved and started walking the planet. And so he went ahead and
I thought
and
he
did
was
that.
evolved specifically to kill Superman.
No, he was created by a mad Kryptonian scientist. Of course.
A Kryptonian, of course.
Of course. They're all mad. Even except for Superman, apparently. He's the only one that didn't get the crazy gene.
Like all of Krypton is full of criminals and jerks, except for Superman.
Yeah, apparently.
And that's only because he was raised by humans. I guarantee if he was raised on Krypton, he'd be the same way.
This Kryptonian scientist got exiled and sent to another planet somewhere, and of course he needs to get revenge. So what does he do? He builds a world killer to go
kill a world.
Make Days of Doom.
Too bad Brainiac got to it first. Ooh.
Apparently.
Ooh. All right. So next we have a little bit of video game news. Scott, have you heard of Alien Isolation?
No, but there's lots of games with the word alien in them.
Yes.
So it could go any which way.
It's the sequel to Space Invaders.
Okay.
This
I'm,
time
I'm down. I'll play
they're
it.
Space Retreaters.
Space Retreater. They're Space France.
Yes. I'm not the racist. I'm not the racist.
Hey, everyone knows France is cowards.
Yes.
Neutral? Whatever.
No, that's the Swiss.
That's the Swiss. That's right.
Well, Alien Isolation is the next in the long line of the Alien franchise in video games. AVP was all right. AVP 2 was okay.
Yeah,
Aliens Colonial Marines, I hear, sucked pretty badly.
Yeah.
But this one is not a shooter game.
So it's not a first-person shooter,
Nope.
not a big deathmatch deal. Interesting.
It is a horror survival game.
Oh.
You play as Ripley's granddaughter or daughter. I'm not sure. I can't remember which.
I'm only going to be convinced if she can scream as well as Ripley can from the movies.
I'm sure they'll get a nice actress to do it.
Maybe they'll get Sigourney Weaver to actually scream.
No.
Like, we're going to hire you for nothing but the scream into this microphone.
Actually, that's kind of the news that I have to break here is Sigourney Weaver is going to be reprising her role as Ripley.
Oh, so maybe they can have a scream off. If it's a yelling competition you want, you've got it. Exactly.
We got good mic work. No, there's going to be a download that comes with the game for anybody who pre-purchases it.
Okay, my DLC pack.
Where you get to play the original Alien storyline, and you get to play as Ripley, or there's two other characters that you can end up playing. Captain Dallas and Parker. I don't know who those two people are.
From the movies.
I've never actually seen the Alien movie franchise.
Cory.
I know, I'm such a bad geek.
Cory. It's sci-fi.
I know.
And it's
I
horror.
know. Well, you want to know? You want to know when you watched it last? When I was 10 years old. You want to know what I really wasn't into when I was 10 years old? Horror.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And probably sci-fi as well.
Yeah.
You're probably like, it doesn't have dragons. I don't like it.
Still, if it doesn't
or
have
dinosaurs.
dragons,
Actually, it was dinosaurs back then.
Yeah,
if it doesn't have dinosaurs,
I was
like
pretty
it.
into dinosaurs. But also coming along with Ripley are the other cast members: Tom Sakrit, Yafat Kodo, Harry Dean Stanton,
I don't know, something.
and Veronica Cartwright.
Stanton.
The only one who's not coming back is John Hurt. And that's not because they can't get him. That's just because the story starts after he got the chest burster through his chest. So he's dead. So that's pretty cool.
Not in real life?
No, he's not dead in real life. No, not yet.
Okay.
He's too busy making wands for Harry Potter.
He didn't get chest bursted in the Harry Potter series either. That would have been pretty awesome. Pretty awesome.
No,
and
not
Dobby.
again.
Dobby bursts out of his chest. I'm free!
God.
But now I'm a house slave!
Oh my gosh. Well, I have some Harry Potter news, so that was a good segue.
Good segue.
J.K. Rowling has written a new Harry Potter story.
I heard this.
Yeah.
Actually, I've seen it all over like Facebook news feeds and stuff like that. Some of the geek sites. It's supposed to be in the future.
Yes.
From what I read.
Harry Potter is 34 years old, according to the story.
Right. Does he have many horses as pets? And he doesn't get naked with them, right? Like in that weird Equus or whatever it was called?
I don't have an Equus story. Don't try and segue this.
Oh, I could have swore you were talking about Harry Potter riding a horse or something. I don't know.
No. Yeah. Anyway, it takes place when he's 34, and him and Hermione and Ron and Luna and Neville are all...
Ginny Weasley. Isn't she?
It didn't mention that in the story that like in the little article I read, but I haven't read the story yet.
Are they all coming back to Hogwarts or?
No, they're actually going to. Where are they going?
They meet up.
Oh, the Patagonian Desert. The Patagonian Desert for the World Cup that year.
The Quidditch Cup, not the one where
not
the one that's been going on right now.
No.
Yeah.
Because that one's almost over. That one's over like Saturday or something like that.
Yeah, last one's coming up.
Unless you're listening to this Sunday, then
it's over, and you know who won.
Hooray!
And it's going to be Arginagway.
Arginagway. I'm rooting for Germa France.
I'm going to be honest. I really don't watch baseball.
Yeah. Anyway, they said in a little quote that... Hold on. I've lost it here. This is great radio. We will cut this out. No, we won't. We won't cut this out because it'll be funny. Gosh, where is it? Okay, I found it. It offers a snapshot into the current lives of the old Hogwarts characters that you've come to know and love, as well as gives you a glimpse into the next generation, which
Okay.
is really cool because, I mean, it's not really official yet, but you can tell that J.K. Rowling's getting ready to do another series.
Another money grab.
Yeah, I mean, she donates a lot, but I'm sure she's running out of money for her fort. She's got to match Peter Jackson's money fort.
Yeah, hers isn't big enough yet.
No,
It's missing a wall still.
Yeah, it's missing a wall. So,
But I mean,
Peter Jackson's money fort is Helm's Deep, by the way.
it's great. It's great. Oh wait, so it has only one weakness. And what is that? The economy?
Yes.
That's what the hole is
Yes.
called. The economy.
Yes.
Make sure you don't
The
blow it up.
economy hole.
It's great. It's great that she's coming out and writing new books or a new set of books, but she's kind of backtracking on what she said when like, this is it. It's done. It's over. You know, no more type deal. And then she starts coming out and it kind of puts a taste in your mouth of, oh, she's just trying to get a bunch of money, you know, which is true on one hand.
Everybody's always trying to get money.
And I'm sure part of it too is a big, you know, big fan service that she's trying to do. She's got a lot of people that want to know what happened. And rather than just come out and say it in an interview, she said, well, heck, why don't I monetize this and make some kind of money on it?
I mean, we don't have to, we're not going to like sit here and downtrod J.K. Rowling. She's a good author. She's no
Yeah, I
Stephanie
enjoy
Meyer.
Wow. I'm going to smack you for that.
Ow! Oh my gosh, that probably read really. Sorry for everybody's ears listening on headphones.
I'll go turn that down.
But it looks like a really cool story. I'm gonna read it and get back to you all, and we're gonna post it up on the Facebook page when we post this video, so you can check it out there and read the story for yourself.
Okay.
And kind of judge for yourself. Now, Scott, we'll go
Cory,
back to
that is my name.
Yes, that is your name. We're going to go back and we're going to talk about some Arrow and, by extension, Flash news.
Okay. Arrow the TV show.
Yes,
Clarify that.
Arrow the TV show and Flash the TV show.
Okay.
Because there's no movie of either of those yet.
Not yet.
So, do you like Brandon Ruth?
I do.
Yeah.
I actually enjoyed Superman Returns. A lot of people hated it. I really enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun
I think
with
it's boring,
it. I thought he played a decent Superman. I mean, the whole bullet to the eye thing, it's pretty awesome, you know.
I like him in the movie Dylan Dog, which is a really interesting kind of supernatural private detective thing before
Haven't seen
I
him
got
in
my
that.
idea for a supernatural
I
private detective.
really enjoy him in Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
Yes, he does a
He
good
is
job. He's
the
the
fourth,
vegan.
fourth level vegan.
Yes.
He doesn't eat anything that casts a shadow, and he has superpowers.
I
and
think that was Simpsons you're talking
yeah,
about there.
maybe true. I don't know.
Oh, the superpowers part is right.
Yeah, he does have superpowers as a vegan.
Yeah, because
And he
it's
beats
milk,
the crap out
and
of
milk
Scott
and
Pilgrim.
dairy products are what's
Yep.
causing people not to have superpowers.
Yep.
Well, you like him as Superman, so he's just been announced as a cast member for the Arrow
All right, another Superman.
as the Atom.
Oh. So not Superman.
No, not Superman.
Well, that's it. Next topic. Don't care. Or just kidding. You said the Atom?
Yes, Ray Palmer, who's a scientist. Now, the Atom is the DC equivalent to Ant-Man. He can shrink himself down to atomic level.
Yep. The
basically.
size of an atom, basically.
And I think he keeps proportionate strength, or he can
I
just
believe he
shrink
does.
him down.
No, I think he does. But it's pretty cool because he's done a lot of things where he goes inside of like Superman's head and, you know, fights alien parasites off his brain and, you know, crazy stuff like that.
Now, this is really interesting because Marvel's saying, hey, we've got Ant-Man coming out. We've got this movie. Oh, we changed the director. Oh, we're changing the writers, which we'll get to in a little bit later.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden DC comes out and they're like, hey, you want to see a fully fleshed out Ant-Man before the Ant-Man movie? Well, come check out the
Come check out the
Atom.
Atom.
Yes. Not Adam, but Atom.
Up and at them.
So it's really cool kind of this is because usually Marvel gives the old 1-2 punch to DC, coming out with stuff first and coming out with better stuff.
Yeah, it's kind of a turnaround.
Yeah.
Kind of.
DC's kind of coming out and saying, "Hey, we can do it too, Marvel. Maybe you should back off on that May 1st or May 5th release date."
May 6th.
Sorry.
Yes, for Dawn of Justice
And Cap 3.
and Captain 3.
I still think DC's going to move.
I'm going to take that bet, and I'm going to say, because it's a Batman, is in the title, and it's a Batman movie. I say that
Okay.
Cap is going to. We'll bet.
I will bet
we'll
you a
shake on
geek
it
card.
right now.
Yep.
We'll bet our geek cards,
Okay.
and we'll see when that happens. Stay tuned until 2016.
2 years. You see that? You have to listen for 2 years now just so you can find out
just
who
so you
won.
can find out who won.
Yep. Wow, I can't believe we just told our audience they have to subscribe to us for 2 years.
Do it. We command you.
It's only $19.99
per year.
per year.
We'll do good.
Now the other news that I haven't told you about yet. You remember watching the Flash pilot?
Of course.
Yes. Well, we may or may not have watched it.
Yes, I remember that it was around.
Yes.
But I don't know if it.
Well, in the
good
Flash
or
pilot, it was amazing or not. It was amazing
It was very amazing.
because that's the word we say now.
Yes.
Amazing.
It was fantastic.
You just ruined it. You just
We like Marvel.
yeah.
We can
Well,
say fantastic.
amazing is Marvel too.
Sure.
Okay. Anyway, we'll have this discussion off air. Well, you remember the Star Labs scientist, the female one, Caitlin Snow or something like that. You know nothing, Caitlin Snow, the girl who is really skeptical about the Flash and
Doesn't
she's
think he
talking-
can run fast, and she's not the tech guy that gets to build all the cool stuff.
And she's really serious, and the Flash is like, oh, why don't you joke around a little bit? And she's like, well, my fiance died during the explosion, during the event.
Because that's somehow Flash's fault, apparently. Well, I mean, we know it is.
Yeah. Well, I think she's just bitter about it happening at all.
Sure.
Well, her fiance was a janitor / tech at Star Labs
Okay.
by the name of Ronnie Raymond.
Ooh.
Half of the equation that makes up the atom, and they have just cast
Not the Atom.
not the atom,
Firestorm.
Firestorm. Sorry, he manipulates atoms, and that's why I
Yes.
was confused.
Yes, Firestorm. Another DC character.
Yeah. Why don't you tell us a little bit about Firestorm?
Ah, I honestly don't know too much about it. All
I
I
thought
know
you read
is-
the comic.
I read the comic, sure, but
That doesn't mean you know anything about
They
it.
totally redid the origin, from the original origin story, apparently, which I have not read the original, so I couldn't tell you the original. This one is Ronnie Raymond and another kid,
Black kid.
a black kid that I can't remember his name, and
That wasn't racist, people. I'm just saying that he's an African American kid.
Sure. And Ronnie is a sports guy, like big jock in school, and the other one is
Nerd.
He's kind of a nerd. He's always hanging around with the scientists in the science lab, stuff like
Yeah.
that. One of the scientists there at his school, which has always blew my mind in comics. How are these scientists working at a high school? Why aren't they working at a college level or university?
These ones that can change
They
people's
change
genetics.
the world.
Yeah.
They do all kinds of crazy stuff. Well, he invents this matrix, this nuclear matrix. Not like the Matrix, but a matrix.
You got me worried about a bit
no.
there. The
Where-
DC universe is a lie.
where it allows you to manipulate matter and energy, stuff like that. But
And he calls it the Firestorm Matrix, right?
yes, yeah. Well, it's called the Firestorm Protocol. I think he was
okay.
enlisted by the government. So rather than quitting his day job and going and working in a secret government lab, he's like, I'm going to keep everything here at my ultra not top secret, not secure lab in the high school.
Only way you can make money is by making sure you're doing 2 jobs these days, Scott. Don't you know that?
Yeah, because apparently having a ultra high expensive military contract doesn't make you any money anymore, and you have to substitute that with a teacher salary. That's really what you want to do.
Well, that teacher salary is that extra micron or that extra laser.
A tiny drop in the bucket compared to what you'd get from a military contract. Anyways, he makes this matrix, this nuclear matrix, code name Firestorm. That's what it is. And of course, it's they happen to stumble upon it, and they get turned into Firestorm. And I mean that's kind of a real
So they
shortened
have to
version.
combine
of it, but-
together to become Firestorm.
Yes, they can't be Firestorm on their own. They tried in one of the comics, one of the recent New 52 reboot comics, and they ended up having major issues. Like they couldn't control. So Ronnie's kind of like he's the guy that the embodiment of Firestorm. He's the one that it goes into his body. He's the one taking the damage, throwing the punches, flying around, shooting stuff.
Yeah.
Whereas the other one, Danny or whatever his name is, he's the brains. He's the guy that's like, turn all that liquid into gold or turn all the air into sulfur. You know, that he's the one that tells you how to do everything. Tells Firestorm how to do everything. So they're kind of, you know, two parts of the same coin. Yeah, they need each other.
Because without the smartness, Ronnie is only just a guy who can punch things really hard.
Yeah, he's just a jock, basically.
Well, they went ahead, and by the way, I was right. It was Caitlin Snow. They went ahead and cast him as Robbie Amell, which the last name sounds familiar. That's because he is the real life nephew for Stephen Amell, aka
Arrow.
The guy who plays Arrow.
Yeah, cool.
So he's going to be Ronnie.
So nephew or like brother?
It says nephew as far as I'm aware.
It's quite the age gap. How old is
sorry. Real life cousin.
Cousin, okay.
Cousin. Yep.
I was going to say, Stephen Amell's only like, you know, mid-20s.
Yeah, he's not
early
that old.
30s at the most.
Is it Jason Rush?
Yes.
Okay.
Jason is the black guy, the smart kid, the brains of the operation.
So we haven't heard who Jason Rush is yet, or who's going to be played by. Somebody good. I mean,
or if they'll even go down that path. They might do just Ronnie Raymond, and he might be the jock that gets all these powers and has to learn science.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't heard anything too much about it. We just know that it's cast, so I'm really excited for the Flash TV show when that comes out.
And of course, it's on the CW, so they'll all be pretty, even if they're geeky or whatever.
Oh yeah, everybody's pretty on the CW.
Yes.
Even for some reason, the grizzled old cop.
Yeah, apparently.
Is pretty. Beta news for you Destiny lovers out there. Destiny is.
Okay, you're gonna have to clarify this for me because I have no idea what Destiny is. I mean, I know what the word means in regular language, but I have no idea in whatever context you're trying to show us.
Right. So, Bungie, who is notable for creating the Halo franchise, has decided to expand their horizon into something that looks like Halo but isn't. Destiny is a sci-fi kind of limited MMO. Well, I think it's just like a console MMO, massively multiplayer online game. So an MMOG or RPG is usually the end of that. But come on, get up with the lingo, guys. Come on. Got it. Yeah. So Destiny it's mostly sci-fi. Although from what I've heard about it, I haven't played it myself, but what I've heard about it is there's a lot of magic elements in it.
Okay, so kind of like intertwining the two, magic and sci-fi, which I really enjoy. Yes.
Well, they just released a trailer for it, which we haven't seen yet. We're going to watch it and report back, as we always do. But they did say that the beta is going to be released on July 17th.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So just a couple days.
Yeah. Not too
a week
far.
or exactly a week.
Yeah.
Next Thursday.
Yeah. Then it'll be for Xbox One, and then it'll come to Xbox 360, and then I'm sure it'll go to PC sometime.
It says here that I'm looking at it begins first for PlayStation 4.
Oh,
actually, and then PlayStation 3, and then it'll also begin for Xbox One.
Sweet. So
and maybe on the
that's
computer.
Really interesting for Bungie because Bungie is usually a Microsoft deal.
Yes,
through and through. I mean, Halo has never been on anything but Microsoft products. So I'm glad they're branching out a little bit and doing a little bit more PlayStation 3 wise. All right, moving on. Unless you had anything that you'd like to.
I do have some news. Speaking of Comic-Con, talked about it earlier. If you don't remember,
San Diego,
a little bit. Yes, San Diego, not the super awesome Salt Lake City one that's coming out here soon.
Which had a few cool announcements of their own.
They always do. If you haven't yet, make sure you go to their Salt Lake Comic Con page on Facebook, subscribe to it, maybe even go to their Twitter feed. I can't remember exactly what it is, but it's on there. You can find it on their Facebook, and they're always posting, new people. Stephen Amell, who we talk about, or Amell. Stephen Amell, rather than a female.
Yep, okay. Stephen Amell is going to be there.
He's going to be there.
Along with Manu Bennett, so we're hoping that they're going to fight.
Yes, maybe they can dress up in costume and actually fight a little bit. That would
be cool.
Do some choreograph work.
The guy who played Howard from The Big Bang Theory is going to be going. And if you go to their Twitter page and let them know that you liked them and then put #acts of geekery, we would love to we would love to get a little.
Yeah, hashtag acts of
Sponsorship
geekery
there.
would be great. And that's ACTS.
Yes.
But I'm going to have to clarify that forever. For
All
all
right.
life.
What's the San Diego Comic-Con news?
Okay, so we know the juggernaut of Marvel. Not just the character that they created, but also the fact that them as a company have pretty much steamrolled.
They are the
all other
juggernaut, bitch.
companies. Yes, they are. They are an official Comic-Con sponsor.
Whoa. This is Salt Lake Comic-Con.
No.
No, this is Salt Lake Comic-Con.
Yes. Oh, yeah, you're right. Yes, they are an official Salt Lake Comic-Con. Forget anything I said about San Diego.
We'll get to that in 3 weeks.
They can go do their Comic-Con thing, whatever. But yes, Salt Lake Comic-Con. You're absolutely right.
This is absolutely huge to get recognized by a company like Marvel. And you know, it's only a matter of time before DC sponsors too playing catch up.
Yep. They're going to be like, hey, I want to do that too.
I mean, both of us are going to be there.
Yes.
We'll be handing out geek cards.
Yep.
So if you
So
see
come
us,
get your geek card from us.
and say hey.
Hey, I listened to your thing.
Yeah.
All 12 of you out there, we're watching for you. We want all of you there.
We'll be right there with one of our geek cards in hand.
Yep.
But I mean, they already had Weta. Last year, Weta came. They had a huge presence.
Coming back?
Yep. They have an even bigger presence. They're bringing, I think, like the 3 trolls from The Hobbit. They're bringing
cool.
like the big
Wow,
statues of them.
I didn't see that. That's way cool.
Yeah. And they've got so much going on for this year's Salt Lake Comic Con. We'll bring you, I mean, why not? We'll bring you all the news for Salt Lake Comic Con for those of you in the city or maybe outside. There's still tickets available. You can come meet for a day. Salt Lake Comic Con was the second biggest opening con, for their first inaugural con. They were the second biggest, I think, or the first biggest.
For Comic-Con.
Yeah, for
the
Comic-Con.
brand Comic-Con.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were the second biggest. They were the largest largest opening convention in all of Utah.
Yep.
Ever.
They were amazing. We had a lot of fun. We had a huge.
It was packed.
Yeah.
They only rented out, I think, like a third of the Salt Palace, and it was jam packed. It was full. I mean, it was like 3 hours in line, and
But
don't put this off. It was still great. Even waiting in line, we had a lot of fun hanging out with people. There were people cosplaying all over. You know, there were
Steampunk Green Lantern was there.
Yeah, there's all kinds of stuff going on.
Optimus Prime. There were
great.
at least 5 dozen assassins that you could swear did not know how to blend in at all.
Yeah, they just kept pushing people out of the way.
Yeah,
Jeez,
it was weird. They all started coming towards
and we
me
had
at
to keep
one time.
yelling, hey, Ezio, no cuts. Yeah, yep, I see you.
Wait,
don't try to blend in.
Did you mean
Get
cuts
back.
as in line or cuts as in
Both?
Okay, you had to actually tell somebody that. Now this year they're actually opening up the whole Salt Palace. Is that correct?
They rented out. From
my
what I heard,
gosh.
they rented out the entire thing.
I know that a few of my favorite podcast creators are going to be there. Geek Show usually has a huge presence.
Nice.
They did with FanX. I'm not sure if they're going to be there this time, but I mean, why not? They've been great.
Yeah.
And then I know that one of my favorite comic creators and one of my favorite podcasters, Scott Johnson, is going to have a booth there.
Okay, I've read his is it Extra Life?
Yep.
My Extra Life.
My
It's
Extra Life,
really funny.
and he's basically the owner and operator of Frog Pants Studios.
Nice.
Or he's their like main guy,
CEO or whatever.
So he's going to be there with
President Johnson.
A couple. President Johnson. What do you say about the? I don't know where I'm going with this, but he's going to be there with a couple other Frog Pants people running a booth, getting some autographs signed. I'm going to be right there gushing over him because, as you can tell, I'm a podcaster and he's an inspiration for me. So, you know, if you haven't listened, well, we'll get to that later. Anything else from Salt Lake Comic Con? I mean, we can turn that into a whole new segment if we want.
That's all the news that I had for it that I was really excited for the reason that because Marvel becoming a sponsor means that your swag bags are going to have some kind of Marvel related something in it, I bet.
Much
maybe
better than the last
or something.
swag bag.
Yeah, you mean the swag poster board.
The swag poster board.
That's pretty much it.
Yep.
I mean, there wasn't really much to it. But
I really hope my wife's not listening. She'll start complaining about how she hasn't got her cosplay costume yet together.
well, work on that, would you?
Yeah.
The swag bag will be nice. Because Marvel will be there, I bet there will be more celebrities that have played Marvel characters. Maybe we can get Robert Downey Jr. there.
If like
some
that
autographs
that
and
would
stuff.
be the ultimate.
Stan Lee, of course, will probably show up
Yeah,
again.
yeah, he showed up to the last one.
Yep, and he was the biggest panel there.
Yep.
And one of the best, I thought.
Oh,
It
yeah.
was great.
I mean, we didn't go to too many panels.
No, I went to a couple though. I went to a couple of the Star Trek ones and a few.
I want
one of
to
the
check
wetter
out
ones.
a few more panels this year than I did
Yeah,
last
definitely.
time. Maybe some voice acting ones because we're all about the voice here on X. Not the crappy music show about people singing and you have to hit the button to turn around and see them or whatever.
Yeah, I want one of the times when they do that. They hit the button, and instead of going only 180 degrees, it just keeps spinning faster and faster. And
Jane, stop this crazy
preferably
thing.
to the country guy, whatever his name is. And he's just like,
CeeLo
this
Green?
is... Yeah, no, not CeeLo Green. Maybe
Sorry.
Christina Aguilera.
Maybe
She's
kinda
country? I don't know, whatever.
She's a little bit country and a little bit rock and roll, I'm sure.
Sure. Sure. And he's just like, I can't get off this bowl as it's spinning around
Yes,
faster and faster.
Exactly. All right. A few more news stories here. Ant-Man has brought on a few new writers to touch up the script.
Okay. Because are they losing writers and replacing them, or are these just additional?
They're just additional writers that come in.
This
and
kind of makes me
everything.
nervous.
Me too at first, but this is pretty common for Hollywood from what I've gathered.
Okay.
They do this all the time. Just somebody comes in and punches up the script and gives it a little more zing and comes in and just gives a second opinion.
The reason I'm nervous is because you have people out there like David Goyer, who he seems to have his hand in everything.
Yeah.
And it seems like after he gets his hands on it, they're not nearly as good as they could be.
Yeah.
You know, so I hope the people they pick up aren't terrible writers. They're good writers. The other thing too is Ant-Man has been replacing they replaced the director twice?
No. They've
once?
just got once, but the new director is the guy who directed Bring It On and Yes Man.
Yeah. So I'm, like I said, a little nervous, but we'll see what happens with
But
them.
then again, the director of Guardians of the Galaxy, the movie you're most excited for this
so
year,
excited for it.
James Gunn, he directed a B horror movie and I think like one other movie that might have been semi-popular. James Gunn is a nobody when it comes to directing.
He won't be after this.
He won't be after this, and that is what
he will be a somebody.
Yep, and that is what Marvel has been like pulling everything. I mean,
John Favreau.
He was a
Totally
comedy
unheard of.
director.
Yeah, totally unheard of.
If anything, and they turned him into an amazing action director.
And if you didn't know, he did Iron Man
And Iron Man 2.
and Iron Man 2.
Not
Iron
Iron
Man
Man
2
3.
not so good in my opinion.
Oh,
It was okay,
still
but
entertaining.
it was still good. Made a lot of money.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm sure it opened him up for lots of other jobs.
Now, last little bit of news story that I have here for you. One of your favorite movies this summer.
Yes.
X-Men-
Captain America 2.
No. X-Men: Days of Future Past.
I was gonna say Guardians of the Galaxy. I haven't seen it, but I know it's gonna be my favorite.
It's gonna be absolutely the best. Well,
So you said Days of Future Past?
yes. So there's a lot of material in Days of Future Past.
There was.
Like-
It was a fairly long movie. It was like 2.5 hours, I
Yep.
believe, but it didn't seem that long. It seemed like there were times where it was a little slow.
To me, it seemed that long.
Really?
You-
Okay.
like I'm not as thrilled with it as you are. It's still a good movie. I think it's a great.
I thought
palate
it was the best X-Men movie they've ever done.
Yeah. Okay. I can see that.
Yeah, I think
First Class
it was
was pretty far up there, though.
Yeah, but it was not nearly as good as Future Past, in my
Okay.
opinion.
Well, Bryan Singer, the director, had
Seems
a
to
lot
have
of
his
people.
hand in everything right now.
Yeah, he's gotten big. He's like indoor plumbing.
Yeah, Wonder Woman, Justice League, Batman v Superman.
Mhm.
He's got a hand in all those.
Wait, is he doing Batman? That's not Bryan Singer.
Oh, sorry, that's Zack Snyder.
That's Zack Snyder.
Never mind. Maybe Bryan Singer doesn't have his hand in everything.
I gotta slap you now.
Ow.
That was not as bad. Well, he cut all of Anna Paquin's scenes as Rogue.
Okay.
You only saw her at the end. Spoilers.
I see her a bunch in True Blood, and I got really bored of her then in her terrible
Yeah.
Southern accent.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's okay.
Well, then you'll be excited to hear, since you're always bored, or since you're bored with her now, that there's going to be a director's cut in which her scenes are going to be put back into the movie.
She better have Rogue's powers from the comics.
That would be really cool. Like the super strength.
Super strength, the flights.
Yep.
Yeah. But she won't. She'll just be the, I can't touch anyone and I'm so sad.
So I think part of the problem that I have with it is that X3, she lost her powers, like she purposefully, but then again, so did Magneto. So it's kind of that thing. So Days of Future Past needed to happen to just
But
cleanse
Magneto
everything.
at the end, remember, it showed him getting his powers back.
That's true. It's just a little weird to me.
Yeah, well, and I think this is not really a spoiler. How long has Days of Future Past been out? A month and a half now?
I think we're past
the spoiler limits,
Well,
or is it 3 months?
No, it's technically 2 weeks from release date, but we have friends who say it's until it comes out on Netflix. We have to mention him every show.
Every show, at least once. You know who you are.
Yeah, you.
Yeah, you. Over there in the corner. Yeah.
We did this joke last time.
Oh. Well, this is Comedy Bronze.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
That's what you get.
We reuse material.
I've got all these jokes written down. I have to put them in at least once a show.
They're just good ones. They're the best we have.
That's all we can think of.
They're not the jokes you deserve, but they're the jokes you need. Anyway, you were saying a spoiler.
Sort of spoiler. If you haven't seen it, you should go see it. It's awesome. Except for it's not in theaters anymore, so you're going to have to wait for it to come on DVD or try to pirate it somewhere, which I don't recommend. But
nope, we do not advocate pirates here. Ninjas are okay.
I like pirates. I like ninjas. Ooh, discussion. Discussion topic for another time. Pirates versus ninjas.
Write it down. Wow, we're distracted today.
Totally forgot what I was going to say.
You were talking about a spoiler that had to do with Anna Paquin.
So, no.
No, not with Anna Paquin.
So the spoiler is what happened in Days of Future Past. It kind of pushed the big old reset button on the X-Men franchise. It erased pretty much everything that happened in X-Men 3. In X3. Sort of.
Well,
yeah, like half of X2. But mostly X3. Jean Grey's not dead anymore.
Cyclops isn't
dead anymore.
Storm's not dead.
Patrick Stewart's not dead anymore. Yeah, Storm's still alive. Bummer. She's my least favorite X-Men.
Yes,
of all time.
Mine too.
I mean, I'll take like Morpheus, Nightcrawler. Well, Nightcrawler's cool, but like Morpheus, Archangel,
that kid who blinks and changes the TV channels.
Take him over Storm any day. Like, go fight. Turn those machines off with your eyes.
You can't
Stop
see what I'm blinking
and keep turning back on. Yeah, you can't see Cory, but he's just blinking really fast right now at me, trying to get me to stop. Is that what you're trying to do?
Yes.
Okay, fine.
Alrighty.
Done. Well, anyways, big reset button. So that's why I really like Future Past.
I think it was well needed. I don't think it was as good as you think it was. I thought it was kind of slow, but I agree that it was extremely needed to make the story and the universe cohesive.
Yeah,
because this thing is the X-Men universe is bloated like crazy from
and it actually did a really good job at it.
And this was back when movies were just coming out, and it really wasn't about continuity. It really wasn't about a long-stretching franchise like it was when Marvel decided to do their universe.
It was about how much money can we squeeze out of this franchise? What can we do to shock people?
Yeah.
And it kind of screwed things up.
And now George R.R. Martin has made it so that you don't have to shock people anymore. They don't want to be shocked anymore.
They want to be happy and content.
Yeah, they get enough shock from that one show.
Yes.
All right, Scott, I think that does it for news, unless you have anything else.
I don't. I am all newsed out.
All right, well then let's get into some trailers that we saw this week.
That excited us.
Yeah.
Yes. So, first one that I would like to mention is Lucy. Movie coming out. It's got
female superhero movie, everybody.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, it's pretty much like a Black Widow movie almost. It's kind of it's good. It's good. It's Scarlett Johansson. That's why I said Black Widow.
Yeah.
Because everyone already knows her as Black Widow. Plus everything else that she may have done, but doesn't really matter because that wasn't very geeky.
I'm trying to think of anything else that she's done, but
And who cares?
Okay.
Because Black Widow.
Well, in this movie, she ends up
she gets kidnapped while she's on vacation, and I don't know if she's in like Thailand or South Korea or something like that.
Yeah.
She gets kidnapped. She wakes up, and normally you're like, oh, here she goes. She's missing a kidney.
Yeah.
Well, no, she has all 3 of her kidneys.
3?
Sure.
Three?
No, I know. 2.
Well, I thought you were gonna
Comedy bronze. Come on,
I thought
Cory.
you were gonna make a reference to the 3rd kidney actually being a bag of drugs.
It is a
That's
bag of
inside of
drugs. Yes. So she
See
actually
so I put us right back on the rails there.
and then derailed us again
Yes,
by saying that.
exactly.
So she wakes up and she has a big incision across her stomach or wherever it's at. I don't know if it's, across the stomach tracts or along the stomach tracts, but it's there. And she's, what did you do to me? And they're like, you're going to deliver a very special package to America for us.
She
or
starts
she's going back
struggling, I
to.
assume.
So she starts struggling on the way to them escorting her to the airport or wherever she's going.
Mm-hmm.
And she ends up getting kind of thrown around a little bit and they kick her in the stomach.
Mm-hmm.
Well, which causes one of these bags of drugs to burst.
Wow.
Which normally in real life,
Kill
if
you.
it's cocaine or heroin or something like that, it ends up killing you because it's a big overdose till they can get it out.
This is
this
special drug.
is a special drug. This is an unlock. This is an unlock super potential of the human brain, which
That seems like a weird drug to market.
yeah.
Is this
all
like
of
the
your-
sequel to Limitless?
Kind of like that's kind of what I thought too when I saw it. I was like, oh,
It could
okay.
totally be, and we'd just not realize it.
So they play off the whole sci-fi notion of humans only use 10% of their brain, which is actually a myth. Humans do use all of their brain. They have tested this in like MRIs and EKGs and stuff like that. Whatever they use to do that. I think it's all MRI.
Science talk.
Science talk. Hey, it's geek stuff, right? It's all things
fine.
geek.
Yeah.
And so she starts unlocking more potential. She can start doing more things. And they kind of, in the trailer, they talk about like at 20%, she control her sales. And as she's walking along, she just thinks about it. And her hair color changes and grows longer.
Okay, cool.
Like it just kind of just does it right away,
So it's
and
just about her unlocking her potential. And
yeah, and at like 40%, she can see all the electromagnetic communication on Earth. And so in her view, it's all the cell phone signals heading up
and then
to
she
space.
becomes NSA woman.
Yeah, she gets recruited by the NSA to monitor everyone. So anyways, they came out with a scene that was kind of like an extended scene. It was about a minute to a minute and a half long. It wasn't really a trailer. It was just one full scene. She's
Although the scene that they showed is partially in the trailer.
a little bit in the trailer, yeah. So the scene is she is trapped in a room, chained up to a chair. A guard comes in and
To check on her.
and she kind of seduces him and spreads her legs open and gives him that Scarlett Johansson smirk, and he's like,
Melts
oh.
it like butter.
Yeah, he's like, oh, okay. So he drops his gun and starts taking his pants off.
Well, he doesn't just drop it. He puts it on the table.
Sure. I mean, if Scarlett Johansson
clatters to
if
the
Scarlett
floor.
Johansson winked at me like that, I'd throw my phone across the room against the wall. I mean, just for getting winked at.
You can buy a new phone. You can't buy another Scarlett Johansson.
Not another Scarlett Johansson wink.
Yes, that's true.
It's priceless.
That was not a Scarlett Johansson wink, by the way. Ugh. Ugh.
I'm just winking at you.
You're ruining the Scarlett Johansson wink in my mind. Now, whenever she winks or like cocks her eyebrow at anybody, all I'm gonna see is you going, eh.
That's because I'm going to be right there with you doing it, just to bug you.
Like I'll look over to the left and you'll be,
wink,
Scott,
wink, wink,
watch the movie.
wink, wink, wink. I can't. My eye is winking. So she winks at him. He starts taking off his clothes, taking off his pants or whatever. And as he gets close, she, of course, attacks him, knocks him out, does all this crazy ninja stuff, whips his belt around the leg of the table, pulls it over, grabs a gun and the keys to unlock herself. So she walks out into this room, and
she does some other cool crap. We should let them watch it.
Sure.
Before we just all describe.
Sure.
I mean,
she walks out in a room, and it kind of plays out the rest of the scene, but it's really cool. And like you said, it's kind of like the first try at a female superhero. I mean,
I think if this is going to be the real test for things like the Wonder Woman movie and
the Black Widow movies coming out, Captain Marvel from Marvel Comics,
She-Hulk, if they
She-Hulk
want,
would be cool.
I don't think they'll do a She-Hulk.
They probably won't, but that'd be kind of fun.
Yeah, it would be
She'll
really
just
cool.
be in a courtroom the whole time because she is a lawyer after all.
The best Marvel movie. Well, think about it. We've got the Red Scare Marvel movie. We've got the thriller kind of Marvel movie that's coming out.
So now we need the
everything.
Matlock.
Now
Marvel
we need
movie.
Matlock.
She-Hulk.
Well, what else we got in
So
trailers?
that was good. And then the other ones were ones that you actually showed me. Big Hero 6.
Yes, meet Baymax.
Meet Baymax. He's the airbag dude that makes squeaky noises that drive me insane. And I don't know how I'm going to be able to survive this movie.
He rolls, well, most of the time I think he's going to be in the armor.
I hope so.
Yeah. He rolls on screen and basically says, "Hey, I'm Baymax." And then he rolls off and it says Big Hero 6. It's literally 12 seconds long.
Yeah, it's a double a vine. That's basically, it's 2 vines wrapped into one.
Yep. So it was, I mean, it wasn't much, but we get a little hint into the voice.
You actually get to hear him.
Yeah.
It sounds cool. It sounds like a little robot guy.
Didn't know it actually was going to be speaking at all. So.
I had no idea that he did. The other one, some other ones that we saw, and let's do the Doctor Who.
Doctor Who?
Yeah.
Okay.
Doctor Who's coming out with their 8th series, I believe, as it said.
With their new Doctor Who.
With their newest
Peter
Doctor.
Capaldi.
Mm-hmm. He's the 13th Doctor? 12th Doctor.
I think
13th.
Doctor. I don't know. There's a debate.
There's so many Doctors. I don't know. I have no idea. I mean, I like Doctor Who. I've watched a little bit of it, and I find it fun, and it's kind of cheesy, but it's fun. It just like I like the original Star Trek. It's cheesy, but it's fun.
You have a tolerance level for it, though.
Yes, I can only watch a couple episodes before
And
I'm like, I'm done with this.
I was actually talking with some people who work today about how I have a tolerance level that once you break through that tolerance level, you have to shut down whatever you're watching and let it recharge. I said you had that for Doctor Who, and I said that I had that for most anime.
Yes.
Like, I cannot watch more than like 2 episodes of any anime before I have to shut it off and like let my batteries recharge, and then I can pick it up again in like a week or so.
Yeah, I get about 2 or 3 episodes in before I'm like, oh, I'm tired of this. I'm tired of the cheesy graphics. I'm tired of. I mean, it's fun. I get it. It's fun. I have nothing wrong. I have nothing against Doctor Who as far as a fandom. I think it's great. People love it. They do all kinds of cosplays. I think are fun. I think are great. But
you Whovians are amazing.
Yeah, Whovians are awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a partial Whovian. I've got some Doctor Who memorabilia, I've got a little Dalek figure, a little sonic screwdriver thingamajig. I mean, stuff like that. That's great. Not everyone can watch it all the time, though, and I'm one of those. And so I have, anyways, they had their little trailer, and it's about, I'd say 12 seconds, about the same as Big Hero 6, maybe a little longer, maybe 20 seconds. And it's just a lot of scenes from the upcoming thing.
Well, it's not even that. It's kind of just you get to see the 2 hearts in Doctor Who's body and like an X-ray type thing. But I think the really cool thing is, of course, the person talking who's threatening Doctor Who is a Dalek.
Yeah, at least at the end, it's a Dalek. I don't know if it's like a morph between before he was a Dalek to when he becomes a Dalek, whoever it is, whoever that guy is. And you Whovians can correct us for sure.
Oh,
we're not too up to date on the on the lore of Doctor Who. We know pretty much all the bad characters. We've seen
Cybermen
enough
and Daleks and
and the Weeping Angels and the Ood and stuff like that. We've seen all that. Yeah, those are goofy. They're like
Cthulhu babies.
C-grade Cthulhus.
Yes.
But that's a new trailer. Go check it out. It's pretty fun. Pretty fun.
Now, I made you watch another one. One that may not be as geeky as our usual wrap, but is still a movie, so we still can review it.
You could, if it's what I'm thinking of, you could still consider it in the like sci-fi, or not sci-fi, but fantasy epic realm type of a thing. It's got that style to it.
Gods and Kings is a movie coming out from Ridley Scott, the guy who did Alien, and the guy who did, is it Alien? He did Alien. And the guy who did Gladiator. This is more style of Gladiator than it is of Alien, so don't worry.
It's the retelling of story of Moses and the pharaohs in Egypt and all that stuff.
The Ten Commandments story.
Of course.
I don't think they're going to go 10 Commandments, though.
Probably not.
It kind of looks like a little bit more of an action flick rather than a
Bible kind of like the
thing.
What was the one that just came out with Noah's Ark? Just called Noah, though.
Just Noah.
And it was less about the biblical parts of it and anything religiously based, and it was more about like a big epic
account.
Is a big the Epic of Gilgamesh type story, the Homer's Odyssey type story, a big old school epic.
To mixed reviews, mind you.
Yes, mixed reviews. Some people loved it, some people hated it.
The reason why I bring this up is because Ridley Scott is also set to produce, and he is hopeful that he wants to direct it. a movie called King David, which
Okay.
is based on David from David and Goliath.
Oh, okay.
The story is going to take place, from what we've heard.
I hope that Goliath is really a giant,
uh,
not just a 7.5 foot tall guy.
as
or
far
8
as
foot
I
tall
know,
guy. I want him to be
the-
like a full blown, huge giant,
20 feet tall,
20, 30 feet tall as a transformer.
gets taken out by a single pebble.
Yes.
Just focus on that for
And
a
then,
moment.
and then what happens is after the pebble hits and he gets knocked down, everyone's like, "Oh my gosh, a pebble hit him!" It zooms out way far away, and the Punisher stands up with his gun,
And
hits
then the comedian stands up with his gun.
hits the communicator, and says, "We're done here," and they teleport back in time, back to the future, and then it goes
Yes.
into the Punisher movie.
Yes, yes, that's a better movie than what I'm sure it's going to be. From what I know, King David is going to pick up after the David and Goliath story, though. So he's already going to be king for a little bit and focus on his other exploits.
Right.
That's all we have for trailers.
That's all the trailers I saw this
Yeah,
week.
I mean, there's a few others out there. I know that there's some new Guardians of the Galaxy extended trailers. We would.
Ooh, can we talk about that, please?
I guess we can.
Please.
I really, it's really just a little bit extra. We saw Michael Rooker's character of Yondu, or whatever the heck his name is.
You see, Ronan, the accuser,
Mm-hmm.
the guy with the big hammer. He's
Yep.
kind of green, gonna wearing a cloak. He is like the bad guy. He's the guy that's
Not the collector, which we thought was
we
going to
thought
be.
the collect, yeah. And Ronan, and there's a picture of him holding the hammer. It looks like he might have some kind of infinity gem in it.
Which you've seen two Infinity Gems so far in the Marvel Universe. The Mind Gem, which is the blue gem that Loki uses to touch
in
people.
his staff.
Yeah.
Where did Loki touch you? Show me on the doll.
Right here in the middle of the chest.
Yep, exactly.
And then you saw the red gem, which is like the power gem or something like that. That was technically not a gem. It was the ether
Yes.
in Thor: The Dark World. I'm not sure what the purple one does. I think
it might be the time gem.
No, the time gem is
Orange.
orange.
That's right.
I think the purple gem might be like a teleporting gem, maybe.
Possible. I guess
Who
we'll
knows?
find out. And if that, it may not be. It may just be a pretty gem that
Yeah.
lights up. I don't know.
But this is all leading up to things that Thanos wants because he wants the Infinity Gauntlet to rule and destroy the
Which
entire
could be,
universe.
Avengers 3.
Yes.
Which is probably what it'll be in Avengers 3.
That would be amazing.
After Guardians of the Galaxy 2 comes out, then it'll be Avengers
Yep,
3.
and it'll be Avengers and Guardians team up.
It's a little bit longer trailer. It's an actual extended trailer. It shows a few extra scenes in it. It shows more banter between the characters.
Yes, which is one of the Guardians of the Galaxy's best feature,
Yes.
in my opinion.
They
is
have a great back and forth.
that they were able to bounce off one another. We are a podcast and we speak properly.
Derp.
But they talk really well together. You get another couple funny moments in there that you're like, oh, that's going to be in there. So this movie is going to be.
I don't think I never thought I could be more excited. This came out and I said, "Oh my gosh, I'm so excited! I'm so excited!" Guardians of the Galaxy. I just started reading the newer comics and I read a little bit of the older ones, just kind of online and just I love them. I had a blast with them. They're in space and I love space stuff, so it's kind of like the sci-fi of the Marvel universe. And I was like, "This is great. There's no way I can get more excited than this." And then the next trailer comes out, and then the next trailer comes out, and I'm at about like 180% excited level right now.
That's good to hear.
I am 99.9% convinced this is going to be the best movie of the year for me.
Yeah.
For me to see, and I'm stoked. I'm so stoked for it to come out.
I know there's another Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles TV spot that's out there too. That I'm
So, anyways, Guardians of the Galaxy.
I'm like, come on, Scott, let's move on from this one topic.
No, I want to keep talking about it. I can talk about this for hours, especially Groot.
Oh,
The talking
gonna steal the
tree.
show.
He's gonna be the Hulk.
Yeah,
he's gonna steal the show just like he did in Avengers.
In essence, the Guardians of the Galaxy are Space Avengers.
Basically,
you've got your Star-Lord as your Captain America style, your Gamora as your Black Widow. You've got Groot as your Hulk. You've got Drax as kind of your Thor character. You've got Rocket. Okay, Rocket's pretty.
He's just
unique.
a talking
He might be your
raccoon.
Hawkeye.
Yeah, he's kind of.
The only thing that they're missing
he could
is
be the Iron Man of the group. He's tech.
He's kind of a techie. The only thing that they're missing is Iron Man. If we go off him being Hawkeye, and technically Iron Man can be part of the Guardians of the Galaxy, like
what I really excited about this most recent trailer, and this is the last thing I'll say about it, I promise, at least on this podcast.
You can't make that promise.
Is they got Vin Diesel to voice Groot,
Yes.
which if you know any other voice work that Vin Diesel does, he's done the Iron Giant. He was fantastic in that.
So good.
Yeah, and I had no idea. That's the thing, is I had no idea it was Vin Diesel until someone pointed it out to me.
That makes a good actor, in my opinion. And to be honest, if we didn't tell you, like if we wouldn't have told you who Groot was, you might not know.
And I would just be like, that's great. Yeah. He's great.
He does a good Groot.
All the inflections of, all he says is, I am Groot, but he says it in ways that it's like, you know exactly what he's saying.
Yeah.
And it fits perfectly with all the dialogue.
Yeah.
I'm excited. So excited.
And everybody acts like they can understand him. Or at least Rocket does.
Rocket can. Yeah. Rocket can understand him. But yeah. Yeah, it's great.
So, is that all you want to say about Guardians of the Galaxy?
That is it. Okay. I will zip my lips about it until next time.
Alrighty, next episode, Guardians
even
all
if
the
it's
time.
Even if it's just like a subliminal, like Guardians of the Galaxy, really quick.
Smoke.
Smoke.
All right, I think we're ready to move into just some quick reviews, unless you have anything else.
I have one more thing.
Oh, okay.
This is not really part of a review or anything like that. News. I guess it's kind of a news story.
Okay.
I just want to shout out happy birthday to the father of modern electricity,
Thomas Edison.
Yeah.
Don't try and smack me again. It's not doing good on the recordings. Ow.
No, Thomas Edison is not the father of modern electricity.
Yes, I know how you feel about
Nikola Tesla.
Nikola Tesla. You have a Tesla shirt on.
I do.
Was that intentional?
It was not intentional.
You just threw it on today?
I just opened the closet. This old thing. I just opened the closet, grabbed the first shirt that I saw, and it happened to be my Tesla shirt.
Perfect.
It's great. But without him, we would not have a podcast.
Yeah.
We would not have electricity.
Yeah.
I mean,
thank him.
Yes, thank you. Happy birthday. 158.
Yeah, that's great.
He's not alive.
Oh, that's not as great.
No, he's dead.
He would be about as old as Hubert Farnsworth.
Yeah, he died in, I think, 40 or 50 something, 40 something.
Okay, well.
Just a side note, a little geek news there.
Happy birthday to him. That's great.
Everyone go out and buy a Tesla Model S. And uses his name so you can see that.
And send one our way, please.
Yeah, as a sponsor.
Yeah.
Tesla. If you're Elon Musk, if you are watching this or listening to this.
That's such a weird last name. It sounds like he's trying to like attract somebody.
He's from South Africa.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense.
Yeah, maybe he's attracting money. His Musk attracts money.
I want that kind of Musk.
Me too. It just
and it just
clings
to you and sticks on your face.
Yep. He's from South Africa. I started the company. But if you're listening, go ahead and send us a Model S. I'll drive it all over the place. Everywhere. Oh, favorite car ever.
Yeah.
Anyways, that was my little geek shout out of the week.
Yeah.
For happy birthday.
Yeah.
And it's actually today. Not just sometime this week, but exactly today.
We probably should have looked up some other famous people's birthdays. But you know what? Tesla. Go Tesla.
Who cares?
It's all Tesla.
All Tesla.
So
all
today, we didn't go see a movie last week.
We did not.
We were just super tired after 4th of July, as you are. But we did end up watching a couple movies. One that we had seen before, but we just decided to watch again. And one that we hadn't seen before that we can't believe we missed.
Yeah.
Let's start with that one.
We watched Abraham Lincoln, Vampire Hunter.
The vampires. And do they have the fangs and say the Sookie?
No, they don't.
They have like giant gnashing teeth.
Yeah.
Which it's a really cool vampire concept, in my opinion. They can go out in daylight. They can, I mean, they're pretty much...
Which is standard.
Yeah.
So all the vampire lore, you've either got, this goes 50-50, I think. You've either got vampires that burst into flames when they go into the sun, or you've got vampires that can go into the sun, they're just really pale, and it kind of, they get bad sunburns.
Yeah, that's the classic. I think that's
they're kind of like me. Lore. I'm just really pale, and maybe I'm a vampire.
Oh my gosh. Somebody help me.
I'm having a weird craving for blood.
I'll get you a Mountain Dew instead. How about that?
That will work.
It was pretty good. It wasn't the best movie. I mean, it was kind of dumb fun.
It was kind of dumb, yeah. Kind of dumb and cheesy.
Watching
some
somebody
corny lines.
Watching somebody knock down a tree with one swing, which you see in the trailer, but it's still pretty cool.
That's always, to me, that always gets me as just a great moment. Anytime you see any movie where all of a sudden one person takes one swing and blows the tree up.
Yes.
You know, I think this is awesome. For some reason, it's just awesome.
Anyway, and you know, they kind of go through Lincoln's whole life, or his whole historical life,
his fake life,
yeah, his fake
alter ego of killing vampires.
It was. I enjoyed it. I want to read the comic. Is it?
You want to do a rating system, like out of 5 or out of 10?
Okay, let's go out of 5. I think 5 is a good.
Okay.
I mean, most critics go out of 4, but that should be because I think that's just because 5 is unattainable. You know, like you can't have a perfect movie. But we'll go out of 5. I'd give it a 2. I'm gonna say 3. Okay.
I like 3 out of 5.
Yep. I gave it a little bit lower because it's not a good movie, but I enjoyed it. So
yes,
yeah. That would be my number 2.
It was fun. I had
2.5.
Maybe I wouldn't go and watch it again a lot, but I would watch it occasionally. Yeah. Maybe at a party or something. It'd be fun.
Oh, look, there's Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter that's on.
Now let's do the next movie. We watched The Mummy.
Yep, not the original.
The 1999,
I think,
Mummy?
with Brendan Fraser.
Brendan Fraser and some other people that we don't really know who they are. Or don't really care.
Yeah, I don't really care about it.
Yeah. We watched The Mummy, and this is one of your wife's favorite movies.
Yes,
she loves this movie.
Yes, she's a huge fan of The Mummy and Mummy 2. Not so much The Mummy 3, even though I like The Mummy 3 better than the other two. Actually, The Mummy is pretty good. The graphics, it is 1999, by the way. Yes. The graphics hold up rather well, I think.
Surprisingly
like,
well.
For being 1999
it honestly
CG
looked
graphics.
Like, to me, it looked like a mid-2000s graphics.
Yeah. So that was impressive. The scarab, like, in the guy's stomach's a little weird now that we have all the new technology. It looks a little different. But all in all, it was pretty cool. I still enjoy it. Watching them run around and try and defeat this mummy and watching him open up his mouth in crazy ways and all of that.
The mummy was cursed and stuff.
Which is stupid. That is one part that bugs me. You've got this guy who's completely evil, and you're going to curse him with long life.
Forever.
Living forever. And he can come back and do magic. Like, that's your curse for him?
I don't understand that. I can break the movie down and solve it in the first scene if you want.
Yeah.
I was thinking about this after we watched it, and I went, this whole thing could be solved with one line.
Yep.
So, at the beginning, the mummy dude, Imhotep, is in love with the chick that only the pharaoh can touch.
Anaxunamen.
Whoever.
Yeah.
Only the pharaoh can touch her.
Giving you
and so she's covered in all this paint all the time. I'm assuming so that they know when people touch her.
Yeah.
I don't know. So he starts making out with her a little bit, and he rubs her hand, rubs his hand on her arm, and it smears the paint really bad. So then Imhotep comes in. He runs away and hides. And then he comes in. The pharaoh comes in. Yeah. And she's got all this smeared paint on her arm, and he goes, "Who touched you?"
Yeah.
And she looks over at Imhotep like, "Oh no!"
And then Imhotep kills him.
Yeah, and then Imhotep kills him rather than going, "No one. I rubbed into a wall on accident." Boom. Problem solved. He would have went, "Okay,
all right, yeah, fine then.
Whatever.
Yeah,
let's go do whatever Pharaoh and his crazy mistress covered in paint lady does in
you don't know
scenes." I don't know.
Okay, well, we're gonna turn the mics off.
Maybe when I'm older. Can you tell me when I'm older?
We'll turn the mics off and I'll explain it to you.
Okay. Oh my gosh!
I'm sorry.
Whoa.
I thought you needed to know. It was about time.
My whole life is ruined now.
All right, so out of 5, what do you give it?
I'm gonna give it like a 2.5.
Okay.
Because of that scene and the whole could have been solved in like 5 minutes.
I'll give it a 3.5. I thought it held up very well. I'm actually a fan of Brendan Fraser, even though a lot of people aren't. And maybe we'll watch The Mummy Returns by the time we see you next.
Maybe not.
I like that one. I'll show you the funny scene in it. All right, let's go ahead and jump into our topic of the week. This week we're talking video games.
Yes, video games.
Hooray!
Yes, we play some of those occasionally.
Yes, with the control pads and the mouses
and all the crazy gadgets.
Why do we both sound like Bill Cosby?
I don't know.
Anyway, we're gonna go over some of the.
I have eaten pudding while playing video game before.
Really? Jello pudding?
No, just regular pudding.
Regular pudding?
Yeah, not pudding bobs.
All right. Well, we're going to go ahead and we'll talk about a few different styles of games, what we like about them, what we don't like about them. And, of course, you're always free to leave comments or Send in your own emails about what you think.
Yeah, what's your favorite style of video game?
Yeah.
That too.
We should have probably saved that for the last, but that's fine.
Okay.
We'll reference it again. First, let's go ahead and talk about first-person shooters.
Yes.
Kind of the most popular genre out there at the moment.
Generally, yeah. Usually sells the most. Usually has the most amount of players.
Yep. Even though they're all kind of the same.
Yep. Also known as FPS.
FPS for those of you in the know.
Also frames per second.
Yep.
If you're a audio technical geek.
Yes.
Or a video geek, I guess. Not audio.
So the basic concept of FPS games is you get better weapons, you run around and shoot things in the head.
Well,
or in the stomach.
FPS, first person shooter. So first person means the view in which you are inside the head. You can see out that character's eyes. All you can usually see is their hands and their arms. You know, occasionally they'll like
kind of
look
like
down.
you are right now. Go ahead and look down.
Pretty much the way you look right now, that's first person.
And you run around and you find ammo on the ground. You find guns on the ground.
Occasionally they'll do third person shooter where you can go out and your camera will be behind the character while you're running around.
It's popular and not one of my favorite styles of it either.
It's a little different. Yeah, you do have to get kind of used to it. That one that's popular there would be Gears of War.
Yes.
Really popular game, really popular series.
Not one of my favorites because it's in third person.
I didn't mind it. It wasn't too bad. It took me a little bit to get used to it. But you are third person outside, so the character does take up part of your screen.
Yeah.
So you have to worry about that. Whereas compared to first person, where you're all in the whole frame, the whole screen that you see is everything your character can see.
One thing that I think first person shooter games excel at is the competitive play and the multiplayer aspect.
Yes.
Not so much the first person, like the single player aspect. It's kind of the same old story. It's kind of boring and whatever.
You know, I actually play most of my first person shooters for the storyline. I really do. I don't get into the multiplayer too much.
But I think that most people will say that the multiplayer aspect of any FPS is where it's at.
Yes.
Call of Duty has a huge esport around it.
Yep, they're one of the biggest. Not there. Another big one is Battlefield.
Yeah,
it's another big one that's come out recently.
I mean, both just excel in the multiplayer market and the downloadable content market, where you can get new guns and
there seems to be a new Call of Duty about every year.
Yeah.
So I usually pick them up every other year or so. I wait till they get on sale and I go pick the last year's up. But like I said, I play those mainly for the storyline.
One of the
There are dozens of them, different styles. If you're not just into the bang bang shoot 'em up, just in a big war like Battlefield or Call of Duty. There are tons.
There's sci-fi, there's fantasy.
There's sci-fi versions, and
there are some fantasy, technically FPS.
Yeah, not too many, but there's a lot of sci-fi
Chivalry.
ones and stuff.
Chivalry is a well-known where you run around and hack people with a sword in first-person mode, and that's pretty much the game. It's got really nothing beyond that. I'd consider that a first-person, quote-unquote, shooter. You can get a bow and arrow.
I guess you could throw your sword.
One of our favorites is an early one, Unreal Tournament.
Yes. Yeah, classic game. You've got you've got your original classics like Doom, Quake, that kind of thing. They were kind of one of the first, not the first. I'm not going to say I know for sure they're first. I think they are one of the first. And then shortly after that, you had your very first Unreal Tournament. And then you've got Unreal Tournament 2, 3, 4.
Unreal Tournament was basically all multiplayer.
Yes, and there wasn't any single player.
I think the best version was 2004. Unreal Tournament 2004, where they added vehicles, and that was the first game I ever played where they had vehicles.
Yes, that I remember playing that game, at a LAN party for hours. Oh yeah, hours and hours with a bunch of friends in a sweaty basement, drinking Mountain Dew and just shooting each other with crazy guns
in the background. I think one of the most popular is Halo.
Yeah, Halo's a really good one.
If you had to pick between Halo and Call of Duty, you'd be hard pressed to find which one's a little bit more popular than the other. If
you went off pure sales, Call of Duty wins.
I think mostly because they have more games out there.
even singular games, Call of Duty. Well, Call of Duty's been around longer than Halo.
But Halo kind of kicked off the whole new wave of video game.
Yeah, pretty much.
Subscribers.
Yeah, the new multiplayer group.
Yep. And I was incredibly disappointed that Halo did not have a bot system to it, like Unreal Tournament did.
Yeah, it's weird. So you had to play with other people. You couldn't just log in and play against the computer.
I don't know if they've corrected that now.
I haven't played any of the newer ones.
Yeah,
I've played a couple of the older ones.
Yeah, I only played like the first one. So.
Yeah. So the reason, the downsides of first person shooter upsides, they're a lot of fun. You know, they're not very hard to pick up.
Nope.
You pretty much just
grab a weapon and go.
Grab a weapon and go.
Usually when I sit down to play a first person shooter, I go, which one's the fire button? Yeah. Okay, I'll figure out the rest on my own.
Yep, you'll figure out the crouch button, the jump, and run, all that stuff. So that's one upside. Another upside is because they are so heavily multiplayer, you get to play with a lot of friends. A lot of times. We'll have little parties occasionally where we'll have a bunch of people come over and play Call of Duty, but we'll play the zombies version.
And we'll all run around and try and do the same things over and over again and just get killed by zombies.
Yeah, just basically it's how long until you get eaten by zombies. Those are some upsides of it. Like I said, they're simple. They're usually got some pretty decent graphics too. And if you have if you've got this need for mindless violence, I'm not gonna be one of those, video games cause violence because what happened over 100 years ago. There's violence all over the place, and there was no video game. So that's kind of a dumb argument. If you think about it, thousands of years ago, people were hacking each other up with swords. I mean, what was causing books? Knowledge is causing violence. Get rid of it. The moon causes violence.
Stick hoop.
The hoop with the stick in it.
That causes violence.
Yep.
Some of the downsides I would say is they're kind of all the same. You got, this is the game. Here's the pistol. Here's the shotgun. Here's the 1-kill weapon. Oh, we didn't even talk about 007.
Oh no,
GoldenEye. Yeah, freaking one of the best first-person shooters out there.
There's a very large portion of my life missing because of that.
Yes,
and taken up by that as far as time goes. We played that a ton, but that was a lot. It was not necessarily just the first-person storyline, which pretty much just followed the GoldenEye, the book and the movie.
Yeah,
but it was the multiplayers. Get a bunch of friends over on the N64. 4 controllers, everybody shooting each other.
Each other was looking at screen.
Yep, stop screen watching, quit it.
Which I'm sure everybody did all the time.
Oh yeah, all the time.
It's all part of the game, people.
Yeah. So that one was great. That's fun. I like that one. I like Unreal. Call of Duty's pretty fun. We've been playing Borderlands 2. That one's kind of fun.
We might come up with some Let's Play videos of that later on.
Yeah. Some of the downsides, at least for me, is also the multiplayer.
Yeah.
If you've ever played on Xbox Live or if you've ever played on the PlayStation, is it Now Network? PlayStation Play Network?
PlayStation Network, I think.
Just PlayStation Network? Yep. I don't have a PlayStation, so I'm not sure on that particular thing. You have ran into those individuals that, like to bang your mom and, like to
call you
names. And it seems like they all come out of the mouths of 10-year-olds.
Yeah, which is really interesting. There's some parents out there who need to get a handle on their 10-year-olds' speaking habits.
I have heard some things on there that would make a sailor blush.
Yeah.
And they came out of the mouth of a 12-year-old kid.
So if you're looking for something that you can play with your friends, but your friends are a little bit more PG rated, probably
you might have to mute your headset.
Yeah, mute the headset or just stick to just the 4 of you playing together.
Yes. So that's probably the biggest downside to them, other than, like you said, they can become kind of repetitive.
Yeah.
Occasionally some will come out and it's totally different, different way to do it. But then it's not just an FPS, though. Usually when the real revolutionary ones come out.
Like Borderlands is not just an FPS. It's the
FPS,
next game we'll talk
RPG.
about.
It's kind of a role-playing game along with the first-person shooter game.
Which is the next game we'll actually talk about. You talked about third-person not being as popular for FPS games. Third-person is really popular for RPG games.
Yes. You've got some of your most popular RPG games out there. You've got Borderlands is up there. It's pretty popular. You've got Diablo.
Skyrim.
Skyrim is way up there.
Huge RPG game. Like, I would say that's almost sandbox, which we'll get to a little bit later. but not quite sandboxy. And you've got, I mean, it's not just limited to fantasy either. I would say Grand Theft Auto can creep into the RPG.
Yeah, yeah. Grand Theft Auto's definitely got an RPG element to it.
I would say that one's really sandboxy.
So RPG stands for role playing game.
Yep.
If you've never heard that phrase before,
have you been living under a rock?
Well, RPG could stand for rocket propelled grenade.
Oh yeah, that's true.
So if you're
I
in a country,
apologize to the people who lived under rocks.
if you're in a country where you live under rocks, and that's all you know it for.
Maybe that's because that's why you're living under the rocks.
If someone shot an RPG at you, they threw Grand Theft Auto at you.
Know it.
But you've got Grand Theft Auto. Your Skyrims are very popular.
Like you said, Diablo is a really good RPG.
Diablo 1, 2, 3, expansion 3, the expansion of the third one. They're all RPG. That's all kind of a third-person view. Your camera is up above your character. You can see most or all of your character. And you have a basic storyline that you have to follow. A lot of games will now have like side stuff that you can do, and you can take a specific path in that storyline and branch off to one direction or the other.
And now there is a sleuth of fantasy and sci-fi RPGs. Mass Effect is another very popular RPG / FPS.
Dead Space, I think.
I think Dead Space too, but Portal, I think, isn't more of an RPG. Well, that's more of a puzzle solving game.
It's a puzzle game.
Yeah, but there's just like you could go onto Steam right now and find a dozen RPG fantasy games that you're just like, I didn't even know this existed.
Some of the biggest ones right now are MMORPG, massively multiplayer online role playing game. And that's started with someone will correct me, but
it started out as like MUDs is what they were called, which are like things like Get Key and things where it's all text based.
Yeah.
And then
you were eaten by a grue, you died.
Exactly. And then it moved on into things and eventually evolved into, I think, the first popular MMO was
RuneScape.
No, EverQuest.
I thought you were talking about RuneScape.
No.
Earlier.
RuneScape is a little bit of a later game. I think it might be even after.
That was what I was gonna go towards next. Was not RuneScape. I keep saying RuneScape now. Yeah. EverQuest is one of the first. Go out, get a guild or a group of friends, kill a dragon, kill a big monster, get some loot, go do some quests.
Work for hours and hours and hours, and let
for
your
one little
character
piece
die.
of something. Then I think, in my opinion, the most popular one ever.
I think that everybody out there will agree with you.
Might still be the most popular out there. World of Warcraft.
Yep. The only thing that can ever contend with it, we'll get to in just a moment. But World of Warcraft is, if you know me, which let's see, there's 12 of you listening, so that means about 6 of you probably know me. I'm a huge World of Warcraft player. I haven't gotten to the point where I'm like, don't do anything else other than World of Warcraft. I'm not that addicted, but I can tell you right now that if you want a simple, fun MMO that you can get on with a bunch of friends and play, the World of Warcraft trial, you can go up to level 20. You can get 4 of your friends together and just say, hey, let's go download this and play to level 20, and you can all have fun for an evening. Like, it is an amazing game. They're constantly.
I don't play it anymore. But I had a lot of fun with it. I don't play it anymore because for me, I ended up getting a little obsessed with it, and it ended up cutting into the rest of my life.
Yep.
Not necessarily but work, but things like, like mowing the lawn. I put that off for 3 weeks because I was too busy wowing, Yeah. But it is a very fun game. However, you have to pay for it.
Yeah,
monthly. That could be a
MMOs
downside to it.
Subscription. Actually, most are getting away from the subscription model.
To.
But WoW still retains that. I think right now they're at about 6.7 to 7.1 million players still.
Yeah, at their peak, they were 13.5 million players.
Which they've been
paying subscribers.
Which they've been declining. Which everybody calls out every time they decline. Oh, it's ending. No, the WoW's dead.
It still has the most amount of players of any MMO out there.
7 million people paying $15 a month. Do the math on that. They're still making bank. Like, it's still a viable model.
They live atop their gold mountain.
The only other subscription-based game that I think is out there that is really popular right now is EVE.
EVE Online.
Which is the sci-fi counterpart to
Yes.
WoW. And actually, I would say complete opposite of WoW, because it is where WoW is very simple. Eve has a huge learning curve.
It is, yeah. It is very complicated to pick up.
It's a lot of spreadsheets.
You can't just jump into it and go. There's, there's a lot of math involved sometimes. There's a lot of, I really wish we would have got an Eve expert on this.
Yeah.
I've only played it for the trial a little bit.
Hey, Eve expert out there, we know you know who you are. Send us an email.
Yeah, tell us what's so awesome about it.
Yeah.
why I've had a lot of friends that played it and they really liked it. I tried it for a little bit. I couldn't really get into it too much, but I could see the appeal.
Yeah. Where WoW would take away your time, I think Eve would eat into it a lot more.
There was a lot to do.
Now from there just became a sleuth of, again, I use the word sleuth. I'm sleuthing. There's just a lot of MMOs out there. Old Republic came out and people thought that was going to be really big. Ended up going free to play. City of Heroes was actually before WoW, where you got to make a superhero character, which is really cool. I think they might be subscription. I keep trying to say prescription too. And I know DC Universe Online is pretty popular.
Star Trek Online. I played that for a little while. I enjoyed that. Age of Conan came out, and it was going to be the WoW killer.
Everything's going to be the WoW killer.
Yeah, it's always the WoW killer, but it never ends up being the WoW killer. It usually ends up being they get 1 million and 1.5 million, maybe 2 million subscribers at the most, and then it just dwindles down to nothingness.
So the one problem with WoW, and the problem with MMOs and some RPGs in general, is when they get long in the tooth.
Yeah, repetitive, very repetitive.
Well, not just repetitiveness, but where WoW, it started in 2004, so you've got just about 10 years of content behind you. So getting into it now can feel very overwhelming. If you want a MMO that you can get into pretty much on the ground floor, the latest one that's come out that I hear great things about is WildStar. WildStar is kind of a comedic take on a sci-fi realm. They've got a lot of cool features in it. It's really well done from what I understand.
I haven't heard of it.
Really?
I honestly haven't. Yeah,
we're gonna have to look it up for you and maybe try and find some trial passes and get on there. But we're talking about merits and demerits. MMOs specifically allow you to connect with a lot of friends, and
it is a very social game.
Yep, the MMO community is a lot better, in my opinion, than the FPS community. You still get your trolls and everything. Usually they play trolls, but most of the time the community is really nice. People are really friendly. You get into a guild that, I have a friend in probably 12 different states that I play with every Monday and Wednesday on WoW. A downside to it though is it is a time sink. If you want to get to the end game and everything like that.
If you want to just log into World of Warcraft, for example, and just play for, an hour, you can. There's plenty of stuff to do. There's solo quests. There's, crafting you can do. You can go out and pick herbs or mine ore or skin animals for leather, that kind of thing. That's all there. It's all available. But if you want to become like really competitive and go into the end game stuff where you see all the big bad bosses,
or play in the PvP section or anything like that, you have to donate
a lot of time.
Oodles of time.
Oodles. Maybe some noodles.
And I think that extends to regular RPGs where they're getting so bloated with, like, they have all this content that they want you to do because they want you to play their games. Surprise, surprise. A company wants you to play their game. But a game like Skyrim, where you've got probably 100 hours of content, I'd say, if you're just really want to just take it easy, it's not anywhere near done. Like I've been playing for probably about a month now on Skyrim.
Yep.
And I'm probably about maybe a quarter way through the story, just because there's so many side quests, there's so many other things that you can do that you want
once again, it's a time sink. That's probably the biggest downside, is it's a big time sink. Subscription based,
and there
can be
an
a downside.
addictive time sink too.
It can be. If you have an addictive personality, you could really get sucked into it and have a lot of trouble with it. But speaking of World of Warcraft, we would not have World of Warcraft if we had not had RTS beforehand.
Yes, Warcraft. Or Warcraft in general.
Warcraft, the franchise, made by Blizzard. Incorporated. We've got Warcraft 1, Warcraft 2,
Warcraft 2
3,
expansion, Warcraft
2
3,
expansion, Warcraft 3.
yeah. And by extension, Blizzard's other huge competitor in the RTS.
My favorite game from them.
I would say these are the only two RTS that people actually recognize are Warcraft and
StarCraft.
yes.
I've got another one that people will recognize, though.
Really?
Age of Empires.
Oh, Age of Empires is another big one.
For sure.
Tiberian Sun or
Command and Conquer.
Red Alert.
Command and Conquer series.
Yeah, Command and Conquer. Thank
part
you.
of them.
Yeah.
They're really popular too. So StarCraft and Warcraft are probably two of the most popular. They're not the only recognized ones out there, though.
So an RTS is a real-time strategy game, for those of you who don't know. Basically, instead of controlling one character, you are creating a base and building an army to go attack an enemy's base or complete mission objectives or what have you.
Yep.
RTSs are really cool because you get to have more of a micromanaging feel to them, where you get to click on a building and start building building a unit and send them, and then while you're building the unit, you send another unit this way, gather resources,
or whole armies.
Yeah.
You don't, not just one unit. You can send a whole army or a whole group of units.
It evolved from
different places.
I believe it evolved from 1 to, or not clicking on 1, but clicking on 4 at a time, to clicking on 9 at a time, to 12 at a time, and then
to an unlimited amount,
all the way to an unlimited amount.
Yeah. So my favorite in those games would be StarCraft.
The first or the second one?
I am enjoying. I probably like the first one better.
Yeah.
For the simple fact that it was
The nostalgia factor.
Yeah, it was kind of my first foray into RTS. I didn't really play a lot of RTS games. I saw the demo being played at a cousin's house and just fell in love with it.
Yeah.
That was great. It's in space, of course. I mean, I'm a big sci-fi guy.
Yeah,
so.
as soon as you saw space, you were.
As soon as it was in
there.
space, I was sold.
Yeah.
But I have played them all. I mean, I played Warcraft. I played Age of Empires. I played Rome Total War. I played...
Yeah, that's not an RTS.
Oh,
that is a
you're right,
turn-based
you're right.
strategy, which is a TBS, which is the other side of the coin. Where an RTS is everybody's moving their figures at the same time. A TBS is where one person moves their figures, ends their turn, another person moves there in a chess-like.
It's kind of the equivalent of Risk, the board game.
Yep.
But on a computer or on a console.
Now, I'm a big fan of turn-based strategies.
I have played a few that I enjoyed.
Warlock. I always, we did this in the first episode, I always pimp Warlock, Master of the Arcane, whenever I can, because I get paid for it. Not really. Warlock is probably a simple turn-based strategy if you want to get into them. I would say Rome Total War, like you said. The Might and Magic series is probably the first real turn-based strategy game that you felt like you were playing a turn-based strategy game. And I think there's one other one. There's a couple others, but I think those are like the big contenders, and one that I personally love.
So some upsides to RTS. You like you said, you get to do the micromanaging. You get to play a lot of characters at once.
You get a more epic feel to it, that's for sure.
Yes, because you make giant armies fight other giant armies,
which is a downside in turn-based strategy, because usually turn-based strategy is you've got your figure on one square and you move it to an enemy square, and they do this little quick animation, and then one wins, one loses.
Yep.
With kind of chess style. So you don't get to, I mean, Rome Total War, you get to actually go in and fight the battle normally, but all the others is kind of just click and go, which is a downside.
There's a downside to it. The downside is sometimes the storylines are a little odd. A lot of them are pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good, but sometimes you can get some weird ones because they can't do as much as they could in a first-person shooter.
They really can only show people from a top view. They can't,
and usually
really,
zoomed out pretty far, so your character on the screen is very small.
Yeah.
Rather than zoomed in really close, and you can see all kinds of details and stuff.
There's ways around it. StarCraft does a really good job of making a good story.
The first ones did not.
Yeah, the first one story was kind of bad.
I wouldn't say that.
I would say a big downside for real-time strategy is the multiplayer. When you're not playing with friends, online multiplayer is not as good unless you're ready to be competitive because they will tear you up alive.
Yeah, I've had many times. I got done playing StarCraft 2, and I said, "Oh, sweet, I'm gonna go hop on BattleNet and play their multiplayer, thinking I'm pretty decent, you know." And I get in there, we play a couple games against the computer, and we just whoop the computer at the hardest level. We're like, "Oh yeah," we hop into normal games and get our butt handed to us, basically. And it's one of those things where you got to be really competitive. First person shooter. I know there are very competitive people out there that are really good. But I think that anyone can hop in and play and usually do okay. Maybe not the greatest, but okay.
Yeah, they're not
especially if you can learn the controls really well. That's usually
you're not going to have a huge learning curve like with an RTS or a TBS.
So there's another downside.
TBS has a bigger problem with multiplayer in the fact that you're waiting for other people to take their turns, which can be extremely boring and can really put you off playing the game. Because you don't want to wait around for 10 minutes while the other players take their turns.
So that's some upsides and downsides for RTS and TBS. One of the last game styles that I'm enjoying recently is sandbox.
Yes.
These are games like Minecraft, Space Engineers, pretty much any game where
DayZ
is
actually a good one, or Rust as they're called. I haven't played either of those two, but I hear they're really good. But sandbox games are pretty incredible in the fact that you can basically do whatever you want in them. There's no end game.
You have total control over the world, basically. So, for example, in Minecraft, you start out in a pre-generated world. It's got material and resources spread all over the place in mountains and valleys. You can mine anything and destroy anything and then make it again. You know, you can tear down a tree and rebuild the tree. You can tear down a wall and build a better wall. You can mine a hole all the way down
to Gorbachev, tear down this wall and turn it into a diamond wall.
You could do that.
Yes.
And you could name it the Gorbachev wall.
Oh my gosh. I should have named my Minecraft character Gorbachev. That should have been my username.
Just so you could walk up to every wall in the game and say, tear down this wall.
Except for that would be Reagan.
Oh, that's true.
You should have made yours Reagan.
You build the walls, I'll yell at you to tear them down. So you're pretty much in control. Space Engineers is another one. You build ships, space stations, you mine asteroids. You're pretty much in control of the whole game. You build it from the ground up. It's basically like Lincoln Logs or Legos or something like that. So those are really fun. Some of the downsides is, you know, if for Minecraft, if you're on a server with a bunch of people and you spend all this time building this big fancy castle, the next thing that could happen is someone could log in after you log out
and dismantle
and tear it down completely. And you there's nothing you can do to stop them.
Nope.
Not unless you were there trying to attack them.
Yeah, exactly.
Then it ends up in a big fight.
For single player, Minecraft does have an end game, but most people don't play the end game.
They just
the replayability comes with the building of stuff.
Yeah. So if you get bored easily with, just building things, a lot of times it'll take a very long time to build stuff. I mean, it could take you a couple days to build a castle the way you wanted it, and if you want to go really intricate, it could take you weeks.
Yes.
I've seen stuff on Minecraft that is a total recreation.
People have made
Helm's Deep,
Erebor from Lord of the Rings as well, the dwarf city. I know of one person who's currently in the middle of making, like on their Let's Play videos, their Let's Make videos, they're making Arendelle from Frozen.
Okay.
They're currently making that.
Cool.
So there's a lot of cool stuff that you can do. Now, one thing that is a huge boon for sandbox games is the modding community.
Yes.
You always get such a good modding community. Space Engineers has it right now mostly with ships, where people are building famous spaceships or famous, like the Enterprises out there, a Borg Cube is out there. You can get the Destiny from
you got the
Stargate Universe,
Star Destroyers and Death Star and things like that out
where
there.
People just create it and you can like download it, and it's really cool. Minecraft has a huge modding community that adds new ores, new ways to play. Like there's one that completely turns it into a game where all you do is spellcraft things.
Oh,
and you can make a spell that just digs dirt automatically, and you have like a mana bar and everything, which is really cool. But modding is always a kind of it takes a little while to get into it, and you have to have a little bit of computer know-how to make sure that you can do it properly.
Yeah.
So just, I mean, I'm not putting anybody off modding if that's your thing.
There are a lot of fun mods out there for both games.
Yep, you can
I'm
find
sure
them
there's
for.
other,
I mean, I've been able to
other
do them.
sandbox games too.
Yeah, I've been doing them for Minecraft, and I mean, I have no computer experience, but it's always better if you have a little bit of computer experience to do this kind of stuff. So the last one we're going to talk about, going back up to Warcraft 3, this game, or this style of game, sprung from Warcraft 3. Back in the day, Warcraft 3 on the online community had this style of game called Defense of the Ancients. And Defense of the Ancients was where you took over a hero and you went around and you killed other heroes and gained levels. And eventually it turned into what was called a MOBA. And a MOBA is a multiplayer online battle arena. Dota eventually became Dota 2, which is its own game. League of Legends came out.
League of Legends, super popular.
Amazingly popular.
One came out called Smite.
Oh, yes.
Where you, same kind of thing, but it's more third person rather than, it's more third person behind. The camera's kind of behind the character rather than more above. Where you can play any of the old fictional gods from
Norse, Greek,
Greeks, Romans, Egyptians,
Indian, Hindu mythology, I think.
And even like South American and stuff like that. So you get to pick a lot of those, and you get special powers, and you get to go and zap people with lightning, or drown them in water.
You get to be the hellhound from the Norse mythology, Fenris, and go around and attack people. All really cool stuff. Another one along the same line of gods that a lot of people don't know about. If you're looking for a fun little single player one, Demigod. Demigod is a really fun MOBA. There's the picture on the cover is this giant guy who's got 2 castles on his shoulders, like 2 castle towers. His name is Rook, and he's just basically made of stone, and he goes around with this giant hammer. It's really cool. That's a less popular one. And then there was one more that was kind of along that same line that I can't remember. You were showing me when we first looked into MOBAs, you were showing me League of Legends and like the Heroes of something.
Heroes of the Storm?
No, that's the new Blizzard one coming out that we've played a little bit and we enjoy, which is another MOBA, and they're all free to play, by the way. That's a huge boon for MOBA games. If you want a game that you can just download and get into, all MOBAs are free to play. They give you a free rotation of heroes every week.
6 to 10 heroes every week, depending on the company, and they rotate through there. Many of them. I mean, like League of Legends has over 100 characters now, and they keep coming out with new ones, which is awesome. Which means they're updating it all the time. They're constantly creating new characters with new spells, new abilities, new weapons, things like that.
Some that are incredibly weird, but some of that are incredibly funny. Like the little girl
a lot of
with
things
a teddy bear.
A lot of things that MOBAs do that I really like is they like to create skins or costumes that replace,
which is where all of their money
defaults.
comes from.
Yeah, you buy them, or you buy them the coins to earn, or stuff like that. And so you'll have one character that has a default costume, but then they'll have 10 other different costumes you can choose from, and they're everything from just like an alternate colored version of them to
full on like Alice in Wonderland version of a little girl.
Yeah, or like a roller derby version of someone.
I'm sure, or like one of them was a Tron version of a character. Which
Heroes of the Storm. Cool. One of my favorite characters on that I've been playing is Nova. She's the ghost sniper, and she usually stealths around everywhere and shoots things, but one of her alternate versions is a roller derby version of it. So she's got roller skates, pink pigtails, face paint, and really like a roller derby outfit. It's pretty funny. They do that, and that's always, it's usually like costs a few bucks to add it to your account so that you can play that character. Everyone else can see it too. It's not just for you, it's for anyone else that sees you.
The cool thing, another cool thing that's come out, another cool MOBA rather, is the Infinite Crisis DC MOBA, which is where you're going around, you're playing as regular Batman, or you can play as Vampire Batman from another universe, or Arcane Green Lantern.
I'm writing this down because I have never heard of this.
You've never heard of this?
I have never heard of this.
Oh my gosh, I swear I've told you about it.
This is right up my alley.
Oh my gosh, there's like Atomic Wonder Woman where she's got this giant chainsaw on the spear thing.
Nice.
It's really cool. And we're a geek show.
Yeah.
So it's really cool that we can pimp geek stuff.
Yeah.
I can't believe you've never heard of that.
I have not.
Oh my gosh.
I'm gonna go check it out though.
Yeah. They even
So
have a
some
comic about it.
upsides are usually free to play.
Yep.
Usually super simple to get into.
Mm-hmm.
You download them or install them.
Go play
And
against some computers.
I think it took us when we first started playing League of Legends like 20 minutes to get to the point where we could do pretty well and compete against normal people. There are very many people out there that play competitively and are really good at it.
Oh yeah.
That I wouldn't want to go up against normally.
And it gives you a different style of playing. It's not just run in, do as much damage as you can, and then when you die, you just respawn back at the spawn point.
Yep.
Dying has severe consequences in a MOBA. It'll kick you out, or it'll take you out of the fight for about 30 seconds and can give that kind of a push that the other team needs to get to your base and destroy your towers. That kind of thing.
Some of the downsides to the MOBA, for me, are the pay for everything.
Yep.
There's a lot of cool skins that I would love to be able to use.
There's a lot of cool heroes that you'd love to be able to use that you have to buy.
Yeah, you buy, and if you want to earn them, a lot of the MOBAs will have, you can earn experience or coins or points or whatever to buy those extra heroes or those extra outfits or skins and stuff. The problem is it takes a really long time.
Yeah,
a long time to get that kind of stuff because you either pay $3 and get a new hero or $5 get a new hero, real money, or you spend a week playing.
Which
trying to earn enough points to get that same hero.
If you're patient like that, if you're patient with games, this is right up your alley.
Yeah.
If you're not patient with games,
it could still be. Yeah. And maybe you have more money.
You should probably uninstall Candy Crush off your phone too.
Yeah. If you have more money than you know what to do with, and you want to just go buy a bunch of stuff, you can just go buy every hero you want.
Or if you have a bunch of money and you don't know what to do with it, you can send it our way.
Yeah, send it our way.
We could always use more equipment.
Or more MOBAs.
Yes.
We can go play more MOBAs for you guys.
We might have to. I mean, tell us what you'd like to see us play. Would you like to see us play League of Legends together? Would you like us to see us play Smite?
Heroes of the Storm? We'd have to check on that one. I don't know if they can be recorded or not
I think they can. I think most games companies are realizing that streaming is the way to go to get their product advertised and people excited for it. But what would you guys like to see us play? And what other games are there out there that you like?
What's your favorite type of game?
Do you like a racing game? Mario Kart, the only racing game I actually like. Do you like a puzzle game like Portals, or do you like just PopCap games? Do you like tower defense, Plants vs Zombies, or I think that's the only tower defense game that there is anymore.
There's a couple of browser-based ones that are pretty addicting as well.
Send us an email to actsofgeekery@gmail.com.
Or post it on our Facebook page, facebook.com/actsofgeekery.
Yeah. Or Twitter at Acts of Geekery. Yes, we'd love to hear from you.
Or hashtag Acts of Geekery as well.
Yes. That would be great. Just keep hashtag with everything.
Yep.
Had lunch today. Hashtag Acts of Geekery.
It was a geek lunch.
On the toilet right now. Hashtag Acts of Geekery.
We'll take it. We'll take it all.
Yep. More toilet humor. Episode 3, baby.
All right. This is all about the toilet. I think that's our title.
Okay, good.
Episode 3,
all right.
all about the toilet. So let us know what your favorite games are.
Yeah.
Let us know what your favorite style of game is, even. And, maybe let us know what games you hate, what ones you couldn't get into.
WoW. I know there's a lot of WoW haters out there. Tell me what you don't like about it.
Yep.
Let's go ahead and get into our picks of the week.
First, we had our very first question submitted by a user on Facebook today.
We did?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, I didn't see this.
From Alex.
Okay. Hi, Alex.
He said he wanted us to talk about Batman versus Superman. He's had a lot of arguments about this recently.
Who would win?
And who would win? He says Superman.
You should have told me this would have been our topic for the day.
He says Superman. I would agree with him.
I would refer you to The Dark Knight Rises Part 2.
So you'd be Batman winning.
I think that Batman could pull it out.
Now, Alex, we would love to answer this, but I think we're going to have to turn this into a full topic of geek versus geek.
Yep.
And what kind of arguments geeks get into, why they argue about things, why can't they all just get along?
Yeah.
and maybe why you need to learn how to set rules when you argue about stuff.
Yes, we have clear-cut rules into who's fighting when and why, and I think that's great. That'll be next week. Thank you, Alex, for your comment.
Bravo. Slow clap.
We did answer it. For those of you who are like, oh, they're copping out and not answering it. No, Scott says Superman. I say Batman. Then again, no, I'd still say Batman,
Yep,
even with our established rules that we have.
We could discuss later why.
Yep.
But that'll be a great topic for next time. So thank you again, Alex.
right.
And anyone else, if you've got any topics you want us to talk about, any questions you want to ask us, what's our favorite superhero? What's our favorite game? What's our favorite movie? What's our favorite food? Why do we wear clothes? Anything you want to ask, it's fine.
I don't know if we know the answer to that question. Like us specifically, or like humans in general? Why do they wear clothes?
Probably just us specifically. I don't want to go a little too existential
because
here.
I'm ugly. Picks of the week.
Picks of the week.
All right, I'll do. Well, actually, go ahead and do yours first.
I'll do mine first. My pick this week is Minecraft.
You did my challenge.
I did. I did your challenge. You challenged me last time to do Minecraft, to at least give it a try, to try to find out if I'd like it or not. And I
made you pay for it.
I paid for it. I paid, I think it was $25 or something. I installed it. I've been playing it a little bit, solo and with you, and I really enjoy it.
Yeah.
The first time I sat down and played it on someone's computer, I got super dizzy and got a headache, so I was kind of nervous to get back into it and try it again. I played it this time again on my computer with my setup, and I was a little more used to it and had a lot of fun.
I know we have a lot of footage. We did a Let's Play, and we're going to be editing that and putting it up on the internet.
Hopefully by next week, by next podcast.
Yep. So you can all see that. We build
that'll be on our YouTube page, youtube.com/acts of geekery.
Wow, it's like everything's all the same.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, uniformity.
But anyways, I've really liked it.
I'm glad you like it.
I've had a lot of fun with it. That's my pick of the week.
Yeah.
If you haven't picked up Minecraft and played it, you probably should. I've heard 6-year-olds. I get 6-year-old cousins that have played it, and then all the way up to people, in their 40s and 50s play it. I mean, it's
my
fun.
guild leader. Hi, guild leader. Give me TKP. He plays it. He hosts the guild server for our Minecraft server, which I'll have to get you whitelisted on.
Yeah, I'll definitely enjoy that.
Well, I liked Minecraft before it was cool, and I liked it in Lego form back when it was a physical.
The original Minecraft.
Yes, the original Minecraft. So my pick of the week is a movie that came out last week, the Lego movie.
Well, it didn't come out. It just came out on DVD.
It came out on DVD, yes.
Correct.
It's been out for about a week, maybe 2, and I've watched it twice. I watched it from a copy that I borrowed from somebody, and then I went out and bought it myself and watched it again the exact same day that I bought it.
Very good movie.
If you've played Legos before, you will love it, because all the Lego pieces, all the little jokes that you're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that they're doing that with Legos. There's some moments in there that are just like, that you're just like, oh, that's really clever. That's a really clever thing that they did with Legos.
There isn't a single thing in the movie that isn't made out of Legos. Well, there are things that aren't, but that's part of the movie. That's part of the thing.
Yeah, it's
pretty
got
much
a really
the entire
clever storyline. Yeah, but the world is made out of Legos. You can build anything with anything, basically. It's like Minecraft. It's like watching a movie where a bunch of people with Minecraft run around, and there's going to be a Minecraft movie now, by the way.
Oh, wow.
Like, they're in development for it, because they said, I think it's Sony said, what's popular right now? Legos? Okay, well, let's make something like Legos. Minecraft movie. So we're going to see a Lego movie too.
Think it'll be on all 8-bit like Minecraft is?
I hope not. That's going to give so many headaches. Like, even I kind of get headaches from the 8-bit style.
Look what happens when they do stuff like Mario Brothers and they try to do a live action.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
No, I don't think they should do live action, but I don't think they should do 8-bit or the kind of the grainy style of...
Well, not grainy style, I guess. They should still make it blocky, though.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Oh, yeah. So if you really want a nice movie that you can sit down and watch with your family, everybody will enjoy it. If you've had Legos, you'll enjoy it.
Hey, great thing. Both of our picks of the week are both about $20, $25. It's pretty affordable for most people.
I mean, even if if you go to Redbox, mine's only about $1.
Yeah, it's only $1.
Yeah. And I think you can get Minecraft on PS4 or PS3 and Xbox 360 now, by the way.
You can, and you can also get it on your tablets, your iPhone, your Android phones, and they're anything from like $5 to $15.
Yeah, and it's incredible, like how much play you can get out of a game like that. So since we already talked about your challenge, let's jump into our challenges. Okay. You've obviously completed yours. Congratulations.
Did you complete mine?
Da-na-na-na. Well, you get your little achievement first.
Like Zelda?
I did read Irredeemable.
Oh, great.
All 10 volumes in a week.
Bravo.
Oh my gosh,
140
it was amazing.
pages apiece.
Yes. I get my little achievement. Bwong.
He read over 1,000 pages of comic this week.
So good. If you ever want to read a story about what would happen if Superman went completely nuts
and evil,
this is your story.
Yes.
It's violent. It is. Everybody has their own secret. Nobody's completely good in this. There's no character that's completely redeemable.
And it's the irredeemable.
Yeah, and it's got a great ending and an amazing kind of epilogue to it that I really enjoyed.
I had a lot of fun with it as well. So what's your new challenge this week for me? Bring it on.
Well,
bring it on.
For those of you who are listening just a little bit earlier, which you're here, so I'm assuming you were there, I talked about how Scott Johnson is an amazing podcaster. One of his, probably the Frog Pants flagship, is the Morning Stream, which is kind of their daily show, morning talk show kind of thing where they bring people on, they do news and stuff. So my challenge to you is to go ahead and listen, and to all of you who want to take this challenge, spend the week, and it's Monday through Thursday. They do 4 episodes in the morning and then 1 in the evening that you can either catch live stream or download afterwards. Just go watch or go listen to a week's worth of the Morning Stream.
Okay.
This next week from
challenge
Monday
accepted.
to Thursday. Okay.
All right, I will do that. My challenge to you, you mentioned last week something that shook me to my core, broke my heart. You have never seen Battlestar Galactica?
No, I haven't, and I've been criticized by several people because of it.
I thought it was a very well done series, and my challenge is to watch the first few episodes.
First couple episodes?
Yeah.
Okay.
You can do 3, you can do 5, you can do the whole season if you enjoy it. If you need support, I will sit there, I will hold your hand.
Don't hold my hand.
I will rub your back while you're watching it if you don't feel good. I mean, whatever it takes. Yeah. But that's my challenge to you.
Will you rub my feet?
I will rub your feet.
Really?
No, I will not.
I was gonna say
I will not touch. I will not go near them. But that's my challenge to you.
Okay, I can do that.
Battlestar Galactica, first 3 episodes. And for those of you listening, if you want to do it as well, that's great. Tell us what you thought of it. If you've never seen it, if you're rewatching it again for the first time, or for the second time, you can't rewatch for the first time. But if you're rewatching for the second time, third time, fourth time, umpteenth time, you can go ahead and let us know what you liked about it or what you don't like about it.
Yeah.
But we'll say the first 3 episodes, and we'll see how you like it.
And everybody can kind of follow along and as I review it, so it'll be good.
And then I'll go ahead and listen to the Morning Stream as well.
Yep. All right, that's a show, everybody. We kind of went a little bit long today, but that's all right because you got a lot of cool information out of us, and you got to hear us rant a little bit more than usual. So,
So tell us what your favorite games are. Tell us what you think of the Morning Stream.
Tell us what you think of Battlestar Galactica.
Tell us what you think about us.
Yeah.
Let us know. Facebook.com/actsofgeekery.
actsofgeekery@gmail.com.
Twitter handle @actsofgeekery.
And youtube.com/actsofgeekery. All ACTS.
ACTS, not AXE.
Well, I'm Scott.
And I'm Cory.
I got you. I got you.
You did.
Rabbit season. No, I'm Cory.
And I'm Cory.
And this has been Acts for Geekery.
I'm actually Scott. Keep geeking out.
See ya.